Welcome to this MFLRC explainer. Today, we're going to completely transform how you view regulatory compliance. We're moving away from seeing SOPs as just tedious paperwork and starting to treat them as the strategic operating system that literally protects your business during a Health Canada audit. We'll be breaking down the essential steps for passing a Health Canada regulatory audit, pulling straight from MFLRC's comprehensive playbook. Let's run through the agenda. We're covering the reality of inspections, the actual regulatory rules, and the anatomy of a defensible SOP. Then we'll dive into good documentation practices, a practical 9-step action plan, and finally, some common mistakes and their solutions. We need to kick things off by debunking a massive myth about regulatory audits. When an inspector actually walks through your door, they are not looking at your operations first. Not at all. They start by looking at your documents. They want to read what you explicitly promised your staff would do. And only after that do they head out to the floor to see if reality actually matches the paper. It's a critical distinction. That brings us to a crucial, absolute rule of thumb. Health Canada does not regulate your good intentions. They regulate evidence. You could have a perfectly run, spotless operation, but if you don't have the documented evidence to prove it, you are at extreme risk of failing. It is 100% about verifiable proof. Moving into Section 1, the reality of inspections. You must mind the gap between paper and practice. The harsh truth is that the gap between your written procedures and your daily floor practice is exactly where most inspection observations are written. If your SOPs are vague, out of date, or honestly just impossible to follow during a crazy shift, the reality on the floor simply won't match the paper. That discrepancy isn't just some minor administrative hiccup. It's a massive business risk that completely undermines the credibility of your entire system. Which brings us to Section 2, the regulatory rules. Remember, SOPs are law, not suggestions. It's super interesting because regardless of your specific sector, the core expectation here is exactly the same. Whether we're talking about cannabis, pharma, or natural health products. The law literally dictates that you define your activities in writing, you follow them to the letter, and you keep the records to prove it. No exceptions. Let's dive into Section 3, the anatomy of a defensible SOP. This is how you design the operating system of compliance. So, what does a perfect SOP actually look like? Well, there's a highly predictable 7-part structure. You need a controlled header, a clear purpose, and responsibilities assigned by role, not name. You also need definitions tied to real regs, numbered procedure steps using active verbs, an explicit list of the actual records generated, and a signed revision history. A fantastic way to pressure test your document is what we call the new employee test. Hand the SOP to a competent employee who has just never done that specific task before. If they can pull it off perfectly using only that document, it's inspection ready. But if you have to ask a coworker because the manual is total garbage, it's time for a rewrite. All right, Section 4, good documentation practices and the Alcoa Plus standard. Here's the thing, a beautifully written SOP that produces messy, non-compliant records will not save you. Pencil entries and backdated logs are screaming red flags to an auditor. Instead, your system has to be engineered from the ground up to generate pristine data. Every record must be attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, and accurate. Full stop. Okay, let's get into the how-to with Section 5, 9 steps to pass inspections. This is your practical action plan. The first 4 steps are all about the creation phase. Never write an SOP from your desk. Go out there, walk the actual floor, find the regulatory hooks, and build your record forms at the same time. Once you have that draft, hit the final 5 steps. Make sure operators vet the steps, quality assurance signs off, keep rigorous training records, and fiercely controlled document distribution. Let's look at Section 6, common mistakes and solutions. We need to identify your operational vulnerabilities. If you dig into published enforcement reports, you see the same vulnerabilities. The most damaging finding is when the SOP doesn't match floor practice. Another trigger? Lazily copy-pasting regulations. Also, if you're throwing around vague words like "as needed" instead of using hard numerical limits, you are basically handing the inspector an easy observation on a silver platter. They want measurable criteria. Building a genuinely compliant system takes real experience and a brutally honest view of your own operations, and that's exactly where MFLRC comes in. We conduct gap assessments, run mock inspections, and develop quality management systems to proactively eliminate these risks. You're building a system that actually works for your unique business. Finally, the conclusion and your next steps. Take a moment to reflect on your current state. As we wrap up, I want you to step back and look at your operations strictly through the eyes of a regulator. If an inspector walked through your door today, would your documents protect or expose you? Do not wait for a high-stakes audit to find out. Use this playbook to align your paper with your practice. Partner with MFLRC to guarantee you are truly inspection ready. Book your consultation today.